June starts on the 1st. That's on Sunday. And we are celebrating National Homeownership Month. So if you are a homeowner, if you care about your property, you want to tackle some of those weekend warrior projects, been putting it off, there are some critical mistakes that people end up paying a lot more money down the line. So, and part of that is having the proper insurance coverage. So we want to bring in Courtney Klosterman. She is from Hippo Home Insurance, Courtney, and a bit of a home insights expert. So I want to start with the big picture. Thank you, first of all, for joining us here on the Zoomy Zoom.
Thanks so much for having me.
Courtney, what are you seeing as the most commonly costly home improvement mistakes that homeowners are making right now?
Yes, well, North Carolina homeowners are always updating and improving their homes, whether it's to boost curb appeal or to prepare for that next storm season, which I will say June 1st is the beginning of hurricane season. So good to
Yep.
prepare early.
That's right.
But renovations, as you said, mistakes can be costly and they can come quickly. So when it comes to what to avoid, as you said, first, don't skip reviewing your homeowner's insurance. Some upgrades to your home, like doing a kitchen remodel or adding square footage to your home, may affect your insurance coverage. So if your policy doesn't reflect those changes that you're making, you might not be fully protected. So second, be realistic about your project scope. And you mentioned DIY projects. These have grown significantly in popularity and have been known to save money. But taking on more than you're able to do can actually add excess costs or complexity that may lead to delays, stress, or overspending.
So then what we're pulling up one of the graphics here, the difficulty level in being renovation ready. What are we talking about here, Courtney?
So it's really important when you're renovation ready to do all of the upfront work first. And that's one thing you can be really thinking about is if you're going to do some substantial work on your home, don't forget about permits. So if you're making big changes, think about setting up your project appropriately. You might need permits, you might need professional support, especially if you're going to go into things like plumbing or electrical, which can have larger implications if done incorrectly. It's really important to think about planning ahead, one for your own timeline and also to be able to stay on budget.
Oh, wow. How do you know and the scope of work? How do you know what kind of work you're going to be getting yourself into before you start something and realize that you're way over your head?
Well, it's really easy to, think about wanting to build your whole scope of projects this year and tackle all of them. But first, take a step back and think about what are your most priority projects? What can really help protect your home and preserve its integrity, especially as we think about more frequent and severe weather events that have been happening to many homeowners across the country. So one thing to think about is if you're looking to take on a home project, break that project into smaller tasks. Think about the parts that you're comfortable with and where you might want to call in a professional to do some of that tricky stuff. You don't need to take on everything yourself, but you can think about some of those small areas that you may be able to pick up in the project that can help you save money and time and also help you learn a bit more about how to care for your home.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like easy enough. I've painted a number of walls and fixing those little easy fixes, light fixtures. So yeah, that's easy enough. But yeah, structural change, that could be a real challenge. And we see these home workshops on the weekend, but they might be a little bit more than you can chew, right?
Exactly. So if you're thinking about taking on home projects, especially a DIY home project, something that at Hippo we recommend is we really encourage our homeowners to take charge, but really do so safely. So start by asking yourself, do I feel confident that I know how to do this project in all of the steps involved? If no, then think about which project steps you are comfortable with and when to bring in a professional for help. And second, do you have the right tools? And do you know how to use those tools? If the answer is no, you may want to think about either doing a little extra research or potentially bringing on some support to get the work done.
And then when it comes to looking at your insurance, that's one of the last things and one of the things that we avoid doing. But what should we look for when we review our insurance policies before starting some of these bigger projects, Courtney?
Well, your home insurance policy covers your home's current structure. So everything that was set up in your home when your policy was, fulfilled. So it's really important to think about any significant changes and how that might actually impact your coverage. It's really important to note that certain renovations may also increase your home's value. Thinking about changing the structure of your kitchen or adding some additional space to your living room and kind of just upgrading the look and feel. The best thing you can really do is to call your insurance company and just let them know any renovations you're completing so that you can help avoid any gaps in coverage if something were to go wrong. It's really important to think about having a proactive mindset as a homeowner. Homeownership can be quite costly, and as you said, this is National Homeownership Month. Do your best to really stay in control of homeownership this year. That starts with getting familiar with how your home operates, the structural integrity of the home, and how your critical systems like your heating, your cooling, your electrical systems, how these work. And if you're not completely sure, do a little bit of research, spend some time getting to know your home, and tackle more projects throughout this year. That'll definitely give you the confidence to tackle whatever homeownership brings.
All right, very good. Courtney Klosterman with Hippo. I mean, certainly those projects can give us a lot of satisfaction and confidence and really putting some pride into your project, but they can also get you into some financial trouble. So thank you for that insight. Appreciate you this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Awesome. Very good. Well, good luck if you are a weekend warrior at 10:40 on a Friday morning and preparing for some of this wet weather here in the Charlotte area. And like Courtney said, hurricane season officially starts on Sunday, June 1st. So